I think what's very clear is that regulatory headwind is rising, and therefore the best way for us from our perspective actually is to go on a stock-by-stock basis, go deep down and try to differentiate the good ones from the bad ones. And in this case, I think having a deeper analysis on the ESG capabilities of these companies and how they manage these regulatory risks would be very important. Ultimately, if the companies do have for example, if you take, say, data standard, if they do have above industry standard, then when the regulatory becomes clear as to how they want to regulate this further, then the ones that have a better standard would be relatively better off than peers in terms of the impact to their business. So they'll be well positioned to shape their businesses for the future.
From your analysis then of those various types of companies, how do you assess ESG adoption amongst Chinese companies? Do you think it's fairly harmonized, or is it pretty nascent at the moment?
I would say that there is a wide spectrum in terms of the understanding of ESG analysis for the companies and their understanding. We have been talking about this for years with the Chinese companies, and I would say there is a vast improvement as well, but it is not harmonized. So it has to be company by company, and again, it's going to deep dive, and we look at how the company manage this ESG risk. And the ESG risks will differ from one industry to another and from a company to another company. But overall, I would say there is a broad and encouraging improvement.
So if we're taking it on a company-by-company basis, which companies stand out for you, Pruska, that both are adhering to the right ESG principles, and number two, are looking attractive now on a valuation basis because of how much they've been hammered by tech regulation?
I would say the large tech companies are relatively well-placed, and that's really because they have the regulation on them is not new, and some have taken the path of self-regulation as well. So if you look at the likes of Tencent, Alibaba, for example, I think they are quite a step ahead in managing this risk, simply because the risks are not new to them. And they have been sold off quite heavily as well. And therefore, I would say part of the regulatory headwinds are being priced in, and the valuation is looking increasingly attractive for long-term investors. But I would say for the next 3 to 6 months, we are likely to see more volatility ahead because the uncertainty with regard to the regulatory side of things is still out there. But then it comes back to our understanding of the company and how they will navigate through these regulatory risks.